Sayé here, and welcome to the Miss Sayé Show. This week I have a very special guest, dear friend of mine, Mr. Armand Arton. Welcome to this show. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to see you again and to be part of your show and to enlighten in any way I can your audition.
Thank you so much. I love your background. That's one of my favorite. That's just when I see that anywhere around the world, and almost anywhere around the world, I see that immediately I say, Armand, global citizen. Like it's such a significant backdrop. And also you guys use the same thing on your car when you were competing in gumball.
Correct. Yeah. It is the passport index, which it's been now over 5 years that we created the platform. We launched even an app on Apple that is very friendly to use for people to understand where their passports can really take them. And strangely enough, during this COVID situation, many people are still, we have nearly 50 million visitors now of people who are visiting and checking where they can travel with the passport, with visa or without visa. So while we would have believed that nobody can travel, so nobody will check. A lot of people are using this time for planning their future travel, and I think that is the opportunity that many people are taking in order to plan ahead, and hopefully they are still positive that things will return to normality in terms of mobility.
Wonderful. What is the app called? Because I have not downloaded
Passport Index.
Passport Index, and that tells you
Absolutely.
what's your passport basically worth.
Yes, it tells you many things. It tells you where your passport can go with visa, without visa, with e-visa. Many people, as you and me and around the world, have more than one passport. So it shows you your personal mobility score. So by adding your, one, two, or three passports that you might have because of parents or because of investments or naturalization, it shows you how many percent of the world you can really access. So it is, a tool that can put the world in a green, which will allow you to travel without visa. And very soon we hope to launch the version 2, which will also be able to, everywhere where you need a visa, to be able to apply from the application for e-visa and, through a very smooth and simple, friendly way to attract people to travel.
That's incredible. Thank you. I guess we're going to share the app name as well, so everybody can go ahead and download it. It's just interesting to know where you stand. Lovely. So, in your opinion, what is a true global citizen, and what are the responsibilities that will come with it when you are a global citizen?
Thank you, Saye. And I think since you know me, you know that it is a mission and a real personal passion for me to help fellow citizens around the world to become global citizens. And for me personally, a global citizen, it's not only somebody that has extra mobility and has more than one passport in his pocket. It's really somebody that thinks around a much more global way around the world and realizes how much we're really interconnected. And I think that the COVID-19 also made us realize the connectivity, maybe in a bad way, but it still showed us the way we are related, that every action you take will implement and will impact thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people around the world. So the same way as a virus can spread through simple mobility, unfortunately it's a bad example, but I think it shows how much good ideas and how many other things can spread around the world through mobility. And that is the role of global citizens. Once that you realize that we live in an interconnected world, that we all have to do our part in elevating society and fellow citizens. Philanthropy is a big part of being a global citizen. It's not very personal benefit. It's about how you will share it with the rest of the world.
Thank you so much for talking about that. I always admire you and what you have done and what you're continuing to do during this time. As you said, it's more than ever important to be mobile and to be able to uh, act as a global citizen and be able to go to different places and also understand the value of it and the responsibility of it and be able to think beyond our borders. Which brings me to my next questions about the Global Citizen Foundation. I would love to hear what are the current initiatives that we're currently having with Global Citizen Foundation. You have done so much good around the world with this foundation, and if you could touch upon a few of those for our audience.
Thank you. Well, not enough good. I think a foundation or any charity around the world can focus into something very specific. And I think like everything else in the world, since Adam Smith confirmed the benefit of focused work, the same way about the foundation. We believe that if you really try to take one need and you focus your financial and global connections to support it, you will have a more important impact. Since the beginning, we always cared about, especially the youngest people, the kids affected by these war-torn countries and by the fact that they live in refugee camps with completely wiped out childhood memories. With very difficult moments. So the Global Citizen Foundation, through the Global Citizen Forum, has always raised funds, supported initiative to help, we believe, the most vulnerable affected by migration, the refugees and the kids in this camp. So we have done from study work projects with UNESCO about education in the camps. We have done projects building little caravans of joy, which is similar to a kids club in a hotel, but put it into the refugee camp. So we have built 3 of those in Azraq in Jordan, where hundreds of kids are continuing to play with the toys and with the structure that we provided years before. And most lately, we will announce actually next week a project where we're going to raise $1 million, an objective for a special refugee camp in Tanzania. We believe that African refugees are somehow being forgotten right now. Everybody talks about the Middle Eastern refugees from Beirut to Jordan and Turkey and all those moving to Europe. But in Africa, you have a big displacement of people of Burundi, of Congo, DRC. And in Tanzania, you have a refugee camp with hundreds of thousands of people, many kids, who would be affected by the COVID spreading through the African continent as we speak. And we're raising...
I'm sorry, where are the refugees? Because I go to Tanzania. I've been there many times. I was involved with more orphanages. I was unaware that there's a refugee camp there. Can you please tell me about it? And where are these refugees coming from?
Yeah, so they're mostly the refugees are coming from Burundi and from Congo. This is about 80% of the population in these refugee camps. I'll be happy to share with you the statistic of the camp and where it's located and how is the situation right now there. Of course, Tanzania is more known for tourism and for very exotic destinations, right. But it does have a harsh reality in these camps, which we're trying to kind of bring them up with attention. And we'll have Wyclef as an ambassador to this project as well, and Save the Children, which is one of the largest charity around the world, focusing on projects like this. And we're partnering together to bring our institutions as the Global Citizen Forum and Save the Children with Wyclef as a face to bring awareness about that. So we'll be very happy to share this with you and
yes,
once the announcement is made.
Learn. And Wyclef has been working with you guys for a very long time now. He has been your ambassador and he has been very, very active. That's wonderful.
He's a dear friend and a dear brother, as we like to call each other. We share, a love and passion for people who come from different backgrounds. As you know, his parents came as refugees from Haiti. Yes. He's famous for Fuji's, which comes from refugees, as his first success story. And he's been very vocal and supportive of the idea of global citizenship around the world, helping countries like Antigua and Barbuda, as Haiti, and even to Solomon Islands, on in the Pacific side of the world, where we have started the program with the government, and where Wyclef is eventually expected after this pandemic to travel and to have a concert for the youth of Solomon Islands.
Wonderful. And so your new initiative is in Tanzania, and also I know you have some other initiative with the sister company, the Arton Capital. And could you touch upon those? I know you guys are working with some of the islands near US.
Yes, well, the Arton Capital is really the mother company, which I started in Canada and has spread around the world, working with small island nations and developing nations, like you mentioned, Antigua and St. Lucia, Dominica, Grenada, and a lot of European countries, from Portugal to Montenegro, Bulgaria, Greece, Cyprus, and up to the Solomon Islands, and of course my motherland, Armenia. So we advise on governments how to attract this 1% of wealthy migrants, which nobody talks about. I mean, when people talk about migration or refugees, people picture, necessarily people in distress, but there is a small percentage, below even 1%, who are people with means, people that have financial capacity, entrepreneur skills, who are coming to other countries and they're willing to invest and to support local economies. Even countries like United States and Canada, UK, Australia have always special programs for these investors or entrepreneurs. So Arton Capital works with 12 different governments on establishing legislations, programs, financial instrument to leverage the economic power of such wealthy immigrants. And those times were very busy because in the last 3 months, a lot of the countries we're working are very much affected by the COVID, because 50% in average of the 12 countries we work with of their GDP is coming from tourism. So the prime ministers are very much worried about the impact, how their countries will survive in the coming months and years. So our work, citizenship by investment or investor programs for residency, becomes crucial to these economies, and we're expanding our network on government supports. We're bringing next week Nouriel Rubini as a member of our board, who will be helping a lot of these countries, providing with the economic advice of how to navigate in such storms, economic storms. When the IMF and the World Bank cannot be there for every country around the world, program like ours of residency and citizenship for investment becomes on a very, very important alternative financing.
Interesting. It reminds me of, if I want to put it in a film and television term, like you're that independent filmmaker that, making your own film versus the studios. So you're doing a little bit of independent filmmaking by bringing aid to these islands. And I completely understand that. I joined into your webinar and it was very informative with the Prime Minister of Antigua. I would like to know, in your opinion, how could people participate in being a global change maker with the limitation of travel at this time? How could they be a true global citizen and exercise those?
That's a very good question, Saye. And I think that, you see, the way we're speaking now and through the technology that allows us to do this webinar, Zoom, it's just an example of how a migrant, who came into the United States, created a tool that right now is used around the world for communication. Everybody sitting home can make a change. And it's very much in times of crisis and necessity that some of the best innovation are coming from. So I will ask everybody who listen to this to be creative, to be positive, and to think about any way that he as a person, without necessarily the physical mobility, but through the technology that is available today, can contribute by his thinking, through social media, of elevating the meaning of being a global citizen. And helping, I think that's how one should act today.
Well said. I love it. So utilizing what we have, staying creative, staying positive to elevate. I love that word, elevating each other. And because at the end, we are all interconnected. So if we elevate ourselves, we elevate the neighbor, we are elevating the world together. So let's focus on that. Let's stay positive. And thank you so much for joining the show, Armand. I really appreciate you. And I hope that I will see you soon somewhere around the world.
Thank you so much, and I look forward to see you again on one of our Global Citizen Forums once the world returns to normality in terms of travel. We'll definitely make a big event, and we hope that we have you with us. Thank you
Looking forward
for
to it.
having me. Stay
Thank you.
safe.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to the Miss Sayé Show, and see you guys next Saturday.